and welcome to a Paladin's Guide to Guardian Druids. Today we're going to be taking a look at the talents and glyphs that I would personally be choosing while leveling my druid. And we will take a look at the abilities that you'll be using, or that you'd probably want to be using, obviously. And no, I will not be covering all the craziness that is a druid because, holy crap, there's a lot of extra stuff that you get because you can still do some minor shape-shifting and whatnot. So I'm not going to be covering that. I do want to note that, of course, beta is beta. I think that's obvious nowadays. Thank you, TB, for coining that. But I say this because looking at the mastery for Guardians kind of makes me go, what the hell, Blizzard? You'll see, but it's really strange. So let's go ahead and start this off by looking at the talents that I would pick. First up, we have Wild Charge. This is pretty much the one I would choose for all my specs because it has a lot of extra stuff and it's really fun. So Wild Charge is a variance on your, Beast Charge that you currently have. Except it makes it so that you have something for all your forms. It's on a 15-second cooldown, and it's about 5 to 25 yards. So you do have a minimum range while using it. So if you are in a non-shapeshift form, so for example, we were in caster form, and yes, it's a Fem Troll, or even if we were in Trent form, we'll go over that in a second, you fly to an ally's position. Well, I don't think I can use this on him, but we will. Oh, we can. Sweet. So yeah, it's kind of like a reverse life grip. You pull yourself to that, or I guess an intervene as well would be a close look at. So if you're in bear form, you charge your target. I don't find that I need to do that, but I'm pretty sure you know what that does. If you are in cat form, you leap behind your target and daze them for 3 seconds. And that does work in this spec. You can go into cat form and stealth and go behind someone and stun them at least. So there's some use in that. Moonkins get the ability to leap backwards, so they get disengaged. What's really cool is, if you're in travel form, you leap forward by 20 yards. I demonstrated that in another video, but I'll show it off in a minute. And also, if you're in aquatic form, increases your speed by an additional 150% for 5 seconds. So all around, it's kind of nifty. You know, it's interesting to say the least. And I'm kind of glad Blizzard added all that cool stuff. So for level 30, I pick up Centurion's Ward. Why do I feel like I've done this guide before? Oh well. Sorry. I guess I do so many guides, I kind of don't realize which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. So Centurion's Ward protects a friendly target, causing any damage taken to heal the target for, it's about 8,000 right now for me. Every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Gaining the healing effect Gaining the healing effect consumes the Centurion's Ward. Lasts 30 seconds. So basically, if it does proc, you lose it. You know. The level 45 talents aren't really anything great for Feral, I would say. I mean, why would I want this as Feral? Or excuse me, as a Guardian? I could see using it as a Boomkin or a Resto maybe. Same with Mass Entanglement, it just doesn't make much sense. Nor does Typhoon, but it's fun. I do like the idea of knockbacks, except in PvP. Knockbacks suck in PvP. But overall, it's the one I would choose because I can get some usage out of it. Alright, next at level 60, we're going to be picking up Soul of the Forest. Now, I know Incarnation's really cool, and you get all this neat stuff out of it, because all your forms will have armor on them. But, I like to have a few passives. I mean, if you look at the bars right now, I have most of the abilities that I would use, at least as in bear form. I really don't want to add any more. And sure, that would probably help do more damage, but again, same thing. So what Soul of the Forest does is it gives you a blessing from Asina. Is that right? Asina? Amana Mana? Anyway, that does various things due to your combat specialization. So we're just going to focus on Guardian. Your Mangle now generates an additional 2 rage. Nifty. So it makes it 7 instead of 5. And with the way that it works, there's a lot of abilities that reset your Mangle, so it's kind of cool. So you no longer have Bash as a Feral Druid, but there's Mighty Bash if you spec for it, which is basically just a 5-second stun, and you can use it in any shape-shifting form on a 50-second cooldown. It's about on par with non-talented Paladin's Hammer of Justice. And it's nice to always smack a fool around a little bit. Oops, did not mean to close that. Alright, so Glyphs. So these are the Glyphs that I would pick up. We have Glyph of Fey Silence, or Fey Silence. Fairy Fire used in bear form also silences the target for 3 seconds, but triggers a 15-second cooldown. Oh, did not realize that. Okay, I probably wouldn't pick that up. Let's look then. Did not see that. I was not paying much attention when I was doing this. No. Druids don't seem to have that great a of cooldown. I mean, glyphs, to be honest. I mean, these are like really, really wonky. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that for now. I honestly do not see anything else, unless I'm missing something that I would, I guess maybe that. I mean, none of the other ones seem that worth using. Anyway, moving on. Glyph of Master Shapeshifter reduces the mana cost of shapeshifting by 90%. Quite nice. Give you the ability to just kind of shift a lot easier. I mean, you do still have the global cooldown, but it's not as major. And your Glyph of Maul causes you to hit an additional target for 50% damage. Good for the way that I do tanking, leveling, which is mass AoEs. And minor glyphs, while not important, I guess I will go over them. Glyph of Aquatic Form increases your swim speed by 50%. Glyph of Chameleon, which just changes the look of your every time you do it. As you can tell, it's just kind of uneven. And then there's Glyph of Trent, because the only reason that I ever leveled a druid was this right here. That is simply amazing to me. Anyway. Now then, moving on. Hello. Hello, Rogue. How are you? Let's cover the abilities that you have. Let's go ahead and start with the passive, as I've started doing more often. We'll start at the very back. Vengeance, of course, is the same as it is with everyone. as you take every 5% of damage you take is turned into attack power up to a maximum of 10% of your health. And for a druid in this form, it's 150 health, 150k. So that would give you 15k attack power. Next is Thick Hide, which increases your armor bonus in bear form by 330%, reduces all magical damage taken by 25%, and reduces the chance that you will be critically hit by 6%. We already have talked about that. Primal Fury. Gain an additional 15 rage every time you deal a critical strike with an auto attack or mangle, and gain an additional combo point every time one of your combo moves deals a critical strike. That's because it has a cat form part as well. Nurturing Instinct increases spell power by 100% of your agility. So this is wonky. Mastery, Nature's Guardian, increases your armor by 9%. Now, I don't quite know how much armor my Paladin currently has, but right now my Druid is sitting at 66.91, so basically 67% armor. It's pretty nice, but then again, there's no, I mean, I'm not gemmed or anything, but that just seems really off to me. Don't know. But having that armor is quite nice. 75% is your cap, I believe. Yeah. 75% armor is the cap. So I don't know. It's a little weird to me that that's the mastery. That seems really kind of dull. Leather specialization is 5% more stamina. Leader of the pack has not changed. You get 5% crit from it, and you also heal for 4% of your health every time you have a melee crit strike, and you restore 8% of your total mana. And this effect cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. Infected wounds. Your your shred, maul, ravage, and mangle attacks cause an inflicted wound in the target. The inflicted wound reduces movement speed by 50%. Feline Grace reduces the damage of falling wall in cat form. Actually, there's a glyph that allows you to pick that up wall in any form. So that might be worth taking a look at. Okay, so moving on to your actual abilities. We have Swipe, which swipes nearby enemies, inflicting X amount of damage. Deals 20% increased damage against bleeding targets. You have Thrash, which strikes all enemy targets within 8 yards, dealing about 2,000 damage, and an additional 1,000 every 2 seconds. So it puts a bleed on the target, and also causes weakening blows. Each time Thrash hits, it has a 25% chance to reset the the cooldown of your Mangle. And of course, weakening blows decreases damage that they cause to you by 10%. Mangle. Mangle the target for 470 weapon damage and reduces the target's movement speed by 50% for 12 seconds and generates 7 rage. Lacerate. Lacerates the target enemy, dealing about 8,000 damage at the current level. Each time Lacerate hits, has a 25% chance to reset the global cooldown on Mangle. Every 3 seconds, the effect will deal bleeding, about 700 damage in bleeding. And it stacks up to 3 times and lasts 15 seconds. Excuse me. So Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire surrounds the target, preventing them from stealthing or turning invisible, and causing 3 applications of weakening armor, or weakened armor. If you're in bear form, it deals about 4,000 damage and has a 25% chance to reset the cooldown of your mangle. Get the point yet? And weakened armor, of course, is at 3 stacks, 12% armor pen. Or armor reduction, as they like to call it. Maul. Maul the target for 110% weapon damage and an additional 55 weapon damage to a nearby enemy, because we picked up the glyph, and reduces movement speed by 50%. It also puts a bleed on the target. Wait, no, excuse me. It causes more damage to bleeding targets. And you're supposed to use it when you have more rage than what you have to spend, so it's Mortal Strike. Now let's go over some of your cooldowns and nifty little things you'll need to know about. Survival Instinct reduces all damage taken by 50% for 12 seconds. It's only usable in bear form, and it's on a 3-minute cooldown. Savage Defense. This used to be your old mastery, but Blizzard said no. I'm sorry, guys. It costs 60 rage, it's on a 1.5 second cooldown, and it increases your dodge by 45% for 6 seconds. It also has 3 charges. So, I don't know if they stack. Maybe, if you can get 120 rage, you might be able to do 2 of them and stack them and be invincible for a second. I don't know. I'll see. Might of Rizrak. Is that how you pronounce that? Rizrak? Go back to it. Sure. Increases current maximum health by 30% for 20 seconds. Activates bear form. So if we were not in bear form, and we're like, oh, we need to live. Oh, we're a bear. Yum. Bark Skin. The Druid skin becomes tough as bark. All damage taken is reduced by 20%, while protected damage casting will not cause spellcasting delays. This spell is usable while stunned, frozen, incapacitated, feared, asleep, and usable in all forms and lasts 12 seconds. Has a minute cooldown. Bear Hug! Everyone loves Bear Hugs. Bear Hug is on a 1-minute cooldown. Melee attack that stuns the target for 3 seconds, and each 1 second deals 10% of the Druid's health and damage. The Druid is immobilized for 3 seconds. This form activates bear form. I don't know why, but I just completely love this ability. I haven't even used it. I think I have used it. I might have. I don't know, but I love it because it's hilarious. We went over that. Berserk. Causes your mangle ability to hit up to 3 targets and has no cooldown. The last 10 seconds is on a 3-minute cooldown. Excuse me, your mangle has no cooldown. The ability Berserk has a 3-minute cooldown. Pretty nifty. Stampeding Roar, of course, increases everyone's movement speed by 60% for 8 seconds and removes all roots and snares. That ability shouldn't be there. I was playing with it though. It was pretty fun. You have your Enrage, which generates 20 rage and then an additional 10 rage over 10 seconds. You have your Skull Bash ability. That is on a minute cooldown. You have your Skull Bash ability, which is on a 15-second cooldown, costs 10 rage. You charge and Skull Bash the target, interrupting spellcasting and preventing any spell from that school for 4 seconds. Increases the that's cool. Increases the mana cost of the victim's spells by 10% for 10 seconds. I find that very interesting. Not that you'll really need it, but you should probably go ahead and keep Innervate on your bar. You never know when you might need to cast it on someone else you might randomly group with. But it regenerates 10% of the caster's maximum mana over 5 seconds. So not a whole lot as a bear. 10%, like 2,000. So you might give them an extra spell. But hey, you know. Tranquility is another one I would say keep on your bar because you never know when you're going to need it. And Tranquility is quite powerful. Your buff is Mark of the Guardian, which increases strength, agility, and intellect by a bunch of random symbols. It's actually 5%, but Tooltip is currently broken. Alright, went over bark skin. Why is that on the bar again? Dash. Dash to put you into cat form. Yay, cat form. And then you can go right back into bear form, but it doesn't do anything. And that's pretty much it. You do have your rejuvenate, and you can cast healing touch if you need it. And there goes all your mana. So yes, this pretty much concludes a... Oh, well... Maybe not. Let's go ahead and... Bear hug! The animation for that's pretty terrible, but... Yeah. Let's see, what else can we show off? Let's, I guess that technically does have pretty good use. If, say, you have a few too many targets on you, you can knock the guy back and give your chance to, say... Let's see, just kind of... Say you just pulled too much, you can always do that. And then you can just be like, oh, hello. So yeah, I guess it does technically have a use in the fact that it gives you the ability to cast a heal. Let's find another guy and just kind of test it just a little bit more. Hey turtle! Hey turtle! Come here, turtle. Yeah, that proc's like... Well, so let's just pretend that I've taken a lot of damage. Not gonna happen, but... I can do that, take a step backwards, cast a heal, cast that, then we can just go right into a bear hug. So, it does have its purposes. That was probably what I was thinking 2 weeks ago whenever I actually made this character. I don't know though. But yeah, that's me done. Hopefully y'all like the audio and the graphic, or the display, whatever. I'm trying to make everything better. But I'd like to thank you for watching and encourage you to have a wonderful day.